of the Middle Dam. I was very happy to hear what you fellows reported today. I support Measure A. I support Alternative A, and I'm going to read my comments. If you accept the analysis in toto, and your idea is to choose A or B, then the report cover, your environmental report cover, is the EIR's best evidence to support a choice of A over B. In the same vein, you have the picture of the Middle Dam Reservoir taken by me. The other document I've handed you makes a subtle point about the relationship of the environmental legal group, Entrix, to the engineering entity, what's that?
Kleinfelder.
Yeah. I didn't write their name down, and name didn't stick in my head. I think that when you have a momentum towards engineering without any malicious intent, you're likely to look at every situation as something to be worked over and fixed. As when you have a physical problem and you go to a medical doctor and they give you some kind of dire diagnosis, you always seek a second opinion. So I'm saying that that you have the EIR, and you have responded from the point of view of liability by funding the study. I strongly recommend that you consider an alternative X, another alternative, which is don't certify now on committing to any A, B, C, or D until you're given a gun to your head, either rehabilitate or replace. You need to have an independent engineer not tied to this report who can provide a good second opinion to tell you whether those dams are good enough to leave alone or whether they really need to be dealt with. Then you can deal with them if you have really good evidence on that subject. The Europeans are always dealing with artifacts that are a lot more valuable, perhaps, than our little local lower dam. But I don't know whether they are going to certify the Notre Dame Cathedral as earthquake safe or anything else. It's a hazard. It's a huge pile of granite that was built hundreds of years ago. So I think that you do need another opinion on the engineering. That's about it. An earthquake may take those out, and you may have to deal with it anyway. A brand new dam could be taken out just as easily by an earthquake. I don't know that any of the seismic engineering can guarantee an earthquake-proof dam. So, end of my comment.
Thank you, Mr. Cross. Alan Nicholson.
Good morning. My name is Alan Nicholson of Talmadge. I would support Measure A. I think this is a terrific EIR, and it's been good work by county staff. My issue is I'd like to see Measure A, if it's approved, with conditions. I live in the first property below the dams, and my property is still suffering from the release of sediment several years ago, and subsequent release of a lot of water whenever it was, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. So I would like to see some stronger mitigation measures for release of sediment in the future. I know that part of the mitigations for A and B would be to recover the sediment, but at some point it's got to go either downstream or into dump trucks and trucked out of the canyon. I don't know what can be done, but I'd like to see some brainstorming on saving my property from inundation from mud and erosion of my property by either negligence of those in charge of release, or I don't know what we can do, but I'd like to see something more than has been done in the past to protect downstream property owners from huge amounts of mud and silt and water that then creates gullies and erosion problems. So that's all I have to say. Thank you very much, and keep up the good work.
Thank you, Mr. Nicholson. Bill Townsend?
My name is Bill Townsend. I'm a resident here in Mendocino County. I've been here since 1947. I've been working on the fish and game programs here for over 50 years. We have a hatchery out here with raising fish to put back in the Russian River. And I personally operated those dams there for over 20 years, about 10 years before the state sold the piece of property there. And the state gave the county 510 acres for our work of raising fish and putting back in the Russian River and the watershed here. But I'd like to say something what I think should be done on this. And I'm also speaking for the UK Rod and Gun Club, which we are very active here. We're taking adult fish and planting in each one of these streams here, trying to bring the population back. We have about 26 streams we plant here. And then some of this on the EIR, taking that lower dam out to create a few more feet of spawning area for the steelhead. That's don't need to be done. You'll create more problems there than what good it is. You got 26 other streams you're working on, so why add another stream we don't have fish in? And you have no history of the fish going up in that area, because I raised fish on the middle dam and the upper dam for 10 years. And I know I never have seen a steelhead up there, but we had raising steelhead in those two streams, and if there's any of them got out and they ran between those two dams, they might have become resident trout, and that's where the fishing game says, well, we've seen some resident trout there. Well, they could be, but they're from those fish that we probably raised there during those 10 years. But anyhow, if they require, the Fish and Game is asking a lot more than the county should be able to do for this damage that is done between the two dams, the middle and the upper one. I mean, between the upper and the middle one. I used to release water down through there every year. I'd drain that upper reservoir for the state. They do that same program. And the state dam inspector would every once in a while want it released. And I would release it for them, and they would look at the dam, and the dam is no different than it was at that time. Now, I was also a chairman for the County Fish and Game Commission, and they'd taken $5,000 out of the Fish and Game account to do some work on that upper dam. There's a little sheep in the dam, and they were going to put some putty in there or something. And they charged $5,000 to do it, and they didn't help it a bit. But the dam inspector, he passed it, and everything's fine.